50 states. But after total collapse, only 9 remain survivable. The rest? They turn into mass graves. People think survival is about guns, food, and bunkers. It's not. You can have 10 years of supplies, a basement full of ammo, and the best gear money can buy, and still die in weeks. Why? Because you chose the wrong location. If the grid goes down in extreme heat, your food won't save you. If you're near a major city, your bunker won't save you. If millions of desperate people surround you, nothing will save you. Wrong place kills faster than any disaster. Right place multiplies everything you do. And that's the truth no one talks about. Before we begin, understand this rule. The most important survival principle in a collapsing world. Distance is survival. Distance from cities. Distance from military. Targets. Distance from dense populations. Distance from panic. Because when systems fail, people don't stay civilized. They change. Fast. And when that happens, your location decides everything. Whether you live or become part of the chaos. This list isn't random. Every location was filtered through 6 critical survival factors. First, nuclear survivability. It's not just about blast zones. Fallout travels with wind patterns. If you're downwind, you're dead even if you're miles away. Second, natural disaster risk. Surviving one catastrophe just to die in another is not a plan. Third, legal freedom. What you're allowed to build, store, and defend today determines your survival tomorrow. Fourth, off-grid viability. Some places support independence, others punish it. Fifth, affordability. The perfect place means nothing if you can't actually get there. And sixth, community strength. Long-term survival is never solo. It's networks, trust, and cooperation. 50 states were analyzed. Only 9 passed, starting from number 9. Maine. The frozen edge of survival. Far in the northeast. Isolated, quiet, and overlooked. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. Look at the map. The largest population centers in the United States sit far to the southwest. New York, Boston, Washington. All below it. Now consider wind patterns. Fallout moves east, carried by prevailing winds, which means radiation drifts out over the ocean, not into Maine. While other regions choke under radioactive clouds, Maine sits outside the worst of it. It's not luck. It's geography. Then there's water. Thousands of lakes. Endless rivers. Freshwater abundance built into the land. While other states fight over dying reservoirs, Maine has more water than it needs. And off-grid living? It's not a trend here. It's normal. Entire communities already live disconnected from centralized systems. No one questions it. No one interferes. You can build. You can farm. You can survive, but this comes at a cost. Winters here are brutal. Temperatures drop far below freezing. Growing seasons are short. Medical help is far away. This is not an easy place to live. And that's exactly why it works. Because the same conditions that make it hard for you make it impossible for unprepared people when collapse happens. Millions will try to move, but Maine filters them out. Cold, distance, isolation. They don't get in, and that's the hidden advantage. Number 8. Vermont. The quiet anomaly. If disasters were a competition, Vermont wouldn't even qualify. No hurricanes. Almost no earthquakes. Tornadoes are rare enough to be news for weeks. It's one of the most stable environments in the entire country. And that stability is everything, because every system you build here stays built. No constant destruction. No rebuilding cycles. Just steady survival. But the real strength of Vermont isn't just nature. Its people. Local communities here operate differently. Decisions are made face to face. Town by town. It's a system that doesn't depend on distant authority, which means when larger systems fail, local ones remain. Food production is built into the land. Forests and farms dominate the landscape. You're not trying to create survival here. You're stepping into it, but there are trade-offs. Taxes are high. Winters are cold, and the state is small, which limits diversity of resources. Still, small can be strong. Small means manageable. Small means defensible. And in a broken world, That matters. Number 7. Wyoming. The empty zone. This is where population disappears. 6. People per square mile. Not families. Not groups. Individuals. Miles of land with no one in sight. No crowds. No chaos. No pressure. True isolation. And that changes everything, because most threats after collapse come from people. And here, there are almost none. Freedom is built into the culture. No income tax. Minimal interference. Strong rights. Living off-grid isn't unusual. It's expected. You're left alone, and that's exactly what survival needs, but Wyoming doesn't make it easy. The winters aren't just cold, they're violent. Temperatures drop to extremes that can kill in minutes. Farming windows are short. Water sources vary depending on location. Choose the wrong land here, and you don't survive. But choose correctly, and you gain something almost no other place offers. Silence. Space. And distance from everything that collapses first, because in the end, survival isn't about fighting the world. It's about staying far enough away from it. And Wyoming gives you that distance. This is just the beginning, because the next locations don't just offer survival. They offer systems, networks, and something even more powerful. Proof. Continue when you're ready. Number 6. Montana. This is where survival stops being theory and becomes community. Montana isn't just land. It's a destination people have been moving toward for decades. Not tourists. Not casual buyers. People who made a decision to live differently. Self-reliance isn't rare here. It's common, which means something most places don't have. Infrastructure that doesn't rely on the system. People already farming their own food. Already running off-grid setups. Already connected through local networks that don't depend on outside supply chains when collapse happens. Montana doesn't start from zero. It continues. That's the difference. Geographically, it offers space, mountains, rivers, forests, enough distance from major targets to reduce risk. And culturally, it offers alignment. You're not the only one thinking about survival. You're surrounded by people who already built it. But Montana isn't perfect. Winters are harsh. Wildfires are increasing. And something new is happening. Money is moving in. Wealthy buyers are discovering the same advantages. Driving land prices higher and slowly changing parts of the culture. Some areas are no longer what they were 10 years ago, which means location inside the state matters just as much as the state itself. Choose carefully, and you gain access to one of the strongest survival communities in the country. Choose wrong, and you're just another outsider in an expensive landscape. Number 5. Utah. Where preparation isn't unusual. It's built into the system. In most places, prepping is a niche. Here, it's normalized. Entire communities already maintain long-term food storage. Not out of fear, but out of habit, which creates something powerful. A population that doesn't panic when supply chains break, because they've already planned for it. Beyond individuals, their structure, organized support systems, local networks, resource distribution methods that exist outside government dependence. When collapse hits, Utah doesn't scramble. It activates. The terrain adds another layer. Mountains create natural barriers. Movement funnels through predictable paths. Visibility improves defense. But there's a problem. Water. Utah is drying. Lakes shrinking. Aquifers stressed. Climate pressure building over time, which means while the social system is strong, the physical resource base is under threat. In the short term, Utah is powerful. In the long term, it becomes a question. Number 4. Missouri Ozarks. This is where freedom reaches its extreme. In many regions here, there are no zoning laws. No building permits. No inspectors. No restrictions telling you what you can or cannot create. You own the land. You decide everything. And that changes survival completely, because you can build without attention. No records. No oversight. No system tracking what you've prepared. In a world where information becomes risk, that matters. The land itself offers advantages. Most places can't replicate. Springs, rivers, forests, and something unique. Caves. Natural underground shelters. Stable temperatures. Protected from external threats, some properties come with them built in by nature, water flows through the region. Food can be grown. Land is affordable, but there are trade-offs. Tornado risk exists. Some areas struggle with instability, and economic opportunities are limited. This is not a place you move to and figure things out later. You arrive ready, because here, you're completely on your own, and that's both the strength and the test. Number 3. Arkansas. Here, survival isn't a strategy. It's a lifestyle that never disappeared. Generations have lived off the land, growing food, hunting, storing, adapting. Not because they expected collapse, because that's just how life worked, which means when systems fail, Arkansas doesn't need to adjust. It simply continues doing what it has always done. The growing season is long. Food production is consistent. Water is accessible. The environment supports life instead of fighting it. And culturally, knowledge is already spread across the population. You're not surrounded by beginners. You're surrounded by people who already know, but there are risks, tornadoes, humidity, limited infrastructure in remote areas. This isn't polished survival. It's raw, real, and sometimes uncomfortable, but it works because when everything else stops, Arkansas doesn't depend on it. Number 2. Tennessee. This is where everything balances. Not too extreme, not too mild. Just right. Climate supports agriculture without constant struggle. Water is abundant. Seasons are predictable. It avoids most of the major risks that eliminate other locations. And that balance is powerful because long-term survival isn't about extremes. It's about sustainability. Tennessee offers that. The land produces, the rivers sustain, the environment cooperates. And strategically, it avoids being a primary target, important enough to have resources, not important enough to attract destruction. But change is coming. Urban expansion is spreading outward. Areas that once felt remote are slowly being absorbed, which means timing matters, the right location inside. Tennessee still offers one of the strongest survival setups available, but waiting too long changes that equation. And now, number 1. Idaho. This is not theory, this is proof. For years, people have been moving here with one goal. To build a life that doesn't depend on fragile systems. And they succeeded. Communities already exist. Networks already function. Systems are already tested. This isn't preparation. It's implementation. Water sources are reliable. Soil is fertile. Land supports large-scale food production. And most importantly, people here are aligned. They think the same way. They build the same way. They prepare the same way, which removes the biggest weakness in survival. Isolation. Because in Idaho, you're not alone, you're part of something already working, but there's a cost. The secret is no longer hidden. Prices are rising. Demand is increasing. The window is closing. What was once easy to access is becoming competitive. Still possible, but not for long, and that's why Idaho stands at the top. Not because it's perfect, because it's proven. Beyond the United States, a different pattern appears. Scientific models point to isolated regions, low population zones, and agriculturally stable environments. Places far from major conflict. Zones. Places with natural resilience, but most of them share a limitation, restricted personal defense, which creates a trade-off: safety without control. There is one exception: southern Argentina, massive land, low population, strong agriculture. And unlike most locations, policies are shifting toward allowing greater personal defense capability. It's not perfect. Economic instability exists. Systems are inconsistent, but it offers something rare: a balance between isolation, resources, and the ability to protect them, and that makes it unique. In the end, no location guarantees survival. There is no perfect place. Only better odds. Better than cities, where millions compete for limited resources. Better than high-risk zones where disasters stack on top of each other. Better than environments that collapse faster than you can react. Location is the multiplier. Everything you do Become stronger or weaker depending on where you do it. You now know the map. You understand the logic. The only thing left is the decision, because when collapse comes, it won't ask if you're ready.